welcome back to our lesson. So our lesson for this video is the laws of exponent. So but before we go on with the different laws involving exponents, so let's have first the basic regarding exponents. Okay, exponent is also known as power. So the exponent of a number says how many times to use the number in multiplication. So that is the number of times that a number will be multiplied to itself. So that is the definition of exponent. So the number of times that a number will be multiplied to itself. Okay, and then, so example, we have 4 to the 4th power. So the exponent is 4. Our exponent here is 4. And this exponent indicates that 4, so our number which is 4 will be multiplied to itself 4 times. So that will be 4 times 4 times 4 times 4. So ito yung exponent natin. So 4 na beses. And that will be 256. Second example, we have 8 to the 2nd power. So our exponent is 2. So 8 will be multiplied to itself twice or 2 times. So because exponent indicate the number of times that the base or a certain number will be multiplied to itself. So we have 8 times 8, and that is 64. Then third example, we have 2 to the 5th power. So the exponent of 5 indicates that 2 will be multiplied to itself 5 times. So that is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, and that will be equal to 32. Okay, example, so let's apply now the exponent by using variable. So example, we have your x to the 2nd power. So it means that x is multiplied to itself 2 times. But in simplified form, so x to the 2nd power is also x to the 2nd power. Then we have a to the 4th power. So a is multiplied 4 times to itself to produce a to the 4th power. Y to the 3rd power, so we have y times y times y. So therefore, that is also y to the 3rd power. So those are the basic example regarding the use of exponent. So now we will proceed with the laws of exponent. Okay, so we have the first law of exponent, so that is the law of zero exponent. So any number or any variable raised to the 0 power is always equal to 1. So x to the 0 power is equal to 1. Example, we have y to the 0 power, that is equal to 1. 4 to the 0 power is equals to 1. And then a to the 0 power is equal to 1. So even that will be a large number or a small number or a negative number, that will always be equal to 1. So example, if we will have here 524 to the 0 exponent, so that is equivalent to 1. Negative 2 to the 0 power, that is equal to 1. We have 1 over 4 to the 0 power, that is equal to 1. So under the 0 exponent, any number raised to the 0 exponent, that will always be equal to 1. Okay, so that will be the first law of exponent. We have the 0 exponent. And then let's have now the second one. So we have the exponent of 1. So any number or any entity with the exponent of 1 is automatically equal to itself. So any number, any variable that is raised to the first power, it is automatically equal to itself. Example, we have 21 to the first power, that is equal to 21. M to the first power, that is equal to M. and 4 to the first power, that is equal to 4. So even though that is a negative number such as negative 4 to the first power, that is equal to negative 4, we have 1/2 to the first power, so that is equals to 1/2, and we have here 428 to the first power, and that will be equal to 428. So any number, any exponent, or any number, any variable with exponent of 1, automatically it is equivalent to itself. Okay, so next part. So we have the negative exponents. So once a number or a variable have a negative exponent, automatically we will have the reciprocal of the number for the exponent to be positive. Okay, because negative exponents are not allowed. So a negative exponent means it is the reciprocal of the given number or given letter, and the exponent will become positive. So example, x to the negative 1, so that will be 1 over x to the first power. Pero if that is first power, hindi na natin nilalagay yun. So x to the negative 4, so the reciprocal is 1 over x to the fourth. So the exponent of negative 4 is transformed into positive because we obtain the reciprocal of the given variable. Another example, we have here 3 to the negative 2. So that will be 1, the reciprocal is 1 over 3 to the second power. And 3 to the second power can be simplified as 3 times 3, and that will be 9. So the final answer will be 1 over 9. Okay, so that is a negative exponent. So we have 1 over 9. Okay, next law. So we have multiplication of similar variable or similar number. So multiplication of similar variable. So in this case, we have similar base. So we will multiply the similar base by adding the exponent. So the exponent will be added. So that will be m plus n. So we have m plus n. For example, we have here x to the second power times x to the third. So pwedeng lagyan natin ng multiplication dot. So x to the second power times x to the third. So that will be x, you will copy the same base and then add the exponent. So 2 plus 3, that will be equals to 5. So the answer is x to the fifth power. Another example, so we have here 2a squared times 4a. So in this case, a numerical coefficient is included in our term. So we have the numerical coefficient, which is 2. We have our literal coefficient, which is a. Numerical, literal. So we will multiply both the numerical coefficient, that is 2 and 4. So 2 times 4 is 8. And then the exponent a, or the variable a. So the similar variable a will be copied a, and then add the exponent. So 2 plus 1. So if a certain variable has no exponent, automatically the exponent is 1. So 2 plus 1, we have 3. So that will be 8a to the third power. So this is the multiplication of variable or multiplication of similar variable. So the exponent will be added. Another example, we have negative 3x to the third power times 2x to the fourth. So negative 3 times 2, we have negative 6, and then copy x, and then add the exponent. 3 plus 4, we have 7. So we will have the exponent of 7. So that will be negative 6x to the 7th power. Next, division of similar variable. So if similar variables will be divided, the exponent will be subtracted. So exponent of the numerator minus the exponent of the denominator. So hindi pwedeng magkapalit. So that is m minus n. Exponent of the numerator minus exponent of the denominator. So we have x to the m minus n. So example, you have x to the 4th divided by x. So again, automatically, if a certain variable has an exponent, the exponent is 1. So copy x and then subtract the exponent, 4 minus 1. So 4 minus 1 is equal to 3. So we have x to the 3rd power. Next example, you have 12x to the 3rd power over 4x to the 2nd power. So divide the numerical coefficient 12 and 4. So 12 divided by 4, we have 3. Copy the similar variable, which are x. So copy x and then subtract the exponent, 3 minus 2. So that will be x to the 1st, and the 1st power will not be written. So 3 minus 2, we have 3x to the 1st power, or simply 3x. Next, we have negative 20a squared divided by 2a to the 4th power. So in this case, we will apply two laws of exponents. So first, we have the division of similar variable, and second one, we have a negative exponent. Okay, so we have negative 20 divided by 2, so that will be negative 10. Then copy the similar variable a, then subtract the exponent. So that is 2 minus 4. So the exponent of a in this example is 2 minus 4. So therefore, that will be equals to a, 2 minus 4, negative 2. So that's how we obtain the negative 2 exponent. So sa kaso na to, yung a lang yung merong negative 2. Kaya yung a lang yung ibababa natin. Hindi natin ibababa ang negative 10. So negative 10 will be retained in the numerator, while a to the negative 2, dahil nga bawal ang negative exponent, so that will be brought into the denominator, or kukunin yung reciprocal niya. Kasi kung papahabain natin yan, ang nangyari dyan ay negative 10 times 1 over a squared. So sinimplify na lang, negative 10 times 1, so that is negative 10, and then a squared sa baba. So that is negative 10 over a squared. Okay, so let's provide another example for the division of exponents. So we have here x to the 4th power, y to the 5th power, and then z to the 3rd power, divided by x to the 2nd, y, z to the 4th. Okay, so let's divide. So we have x divided by x, so that will be x. And then subtract the exponent, 4 divided by 2, or 4 minus 2. Subtract the exponent, 4 minus 2, so that will be 2. Then, for the second variable, we have y. So, copy the similar variable y, and then 5 minus 1. So, yung y natin sa denominator, merong 1. So, 5 minus 1, so that will be 4. And then, copy z for the third variable. Then, 3 minus 4. So, 3 minus 4 is equal to negative 1. So, 3 minus 4 is 1, negative 1. So, now, meron tayong negative exponent here. So, ibababa natin yung letter C for our final answer. May iwan yung x sa numerator, may iwan yung y sa numerator. So, the final answer will be x to the 2nd power, y to the 4th power, over z to the 1st power, but the 1st power will be omitted. Okay, so we have z in our denominator. Okay, so let's have another one. We have here 4a b to the 2nd over 2a to the 3rd power b c to the 2nd power. So first, divide the numerical coefficient. So 4 divided by 2, that will be 2. And then copy similar a. So we have a. Subtract the exponent of the numerator minus denominator. So that is 1 minus 3. Okay, so we have 1 minus 3. So that will be negative 2. Then copy another variable b. So similar yung b natin, kopyahin natin. So ang b dito ay mayroong exponent na 1. So 2 minus 1, that will be 1. And the exponent of 1 is automatically omitted. Then, C will be retained in the denominator. Kasi hindi naman natin nagamit for division yung C, hayaan lang natin sa ilalim yung C. Kasi kung iaangat natin yung C dito, halimbawa, ay iangat natin si letter C sa ibabaw. So, ang exponent niya ay negative 2. Kasi inangat mo. So, yung negative 2, ibababa mo rin siya. Kaya hayaan na lang natin sa baba. So, we have here C squared. And then, meron tayong negative exponent sa A. So, ibababa rin natin yung letter A. So, matitira lang sa ibabaw yung 2 and B. Okay, so ang matitira lang sa ibabaw will be 2 and B. So that will be equivalent to 2B over A squared, yung negative na wala na kasi kinuha na yung reciprocal, and then C squared. Okay, so that is the application of the division of exponent. Division of variable with division of similar variable having exponents. Okay, so let's have the next part. So, multiplication of exponent. So, meron tayong exponent sa labas ng parenthesis. So, what will happen? So, the exponent m and n will be multiplied, m times n. So, example, we have here x to the second power, quantity raised to the third power. So, that will be 2 times 3 and that will be 6. So, x to the 6th power. Another example, so we have 2 to the second power, quantity raised to the 4th power. So, multiply 2 and 4. So, that will be 2 to the 8th power. And then, evaluate natin, simplify natin. Yung x to the 6 kasi hindi na masisimplify ito eh. Yan na talaga yung answer dyan. Pero yung 2 to the 8, pwede pang simplify, pwede pang evaluate. So, ang 2 to the 8th power is equivalent to multiply 2 8 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So, 2 times 2 is 4. And then times 2, 8. Times 2, 16. Times 2, 32. Times 2, 64. Times 2, 128. 128 times 2, 256. Okay, so let's have another one here. So, example, we have here x to the negative 4, y to the second power, quantity raised to the negative 2. So we'll just apply the operation on integers in our exponents. So copy x and then distribute si negative 2. Negative 2 times negative 4. So that is 8, positive 8. And then y, negative 2 times 2, and that is negative 4. And then may negative exponent tayo, so balik tayo kay negative exponent, so that will be the reciprocal. In order to remove negative, so we have x to the 8th power over y to the 4th. So that will be our answer in applying the law on exponent. Let's have another one. So we have here 3a to the second power, b to the third power, quantity raised to the second power. So distributive multiplication or distributive exponent. So the exponent of 2 will be distributed to the 3 entities inside the parentheses. So we have 3 squared. Then a, so that will be 6. That will be 4. So we have 2 times 2, that will be a to the 4th power. And then b to the 6th power. Okay, so simplify, that will be 9. So that will be 9a to the 4th power, b to the 6th power. Okay, let's have another one here. So let's have here 1 over 4 to the second power. So yung second power natin will be given both to the numerator and the denominator. So that will be 1 to the second over 4 to the second. And that will be equal to 1 over 16. So we have 1 over 16. Okay, next part. So we have here, mali yung given natin example. So dapat to nasa labas yung letter M. So it should be xy quantity raised to the m power. So if two variables are raised to the exponent will be distributive. Okay, so the exponent will be distributed to every element in our parenthesis. So that will be x to the m, y to the m. So example, so we have here xy to the second power, so that's x to the second, y to the second. We have 2a to the third power, so we have 2 to the third, a to the third. Okay, so the third power will be distributed to both element in our parentheses or inside the parentheses. So 2 to the third, a to the third, and 2 to the third power is equivalent to 8. So we have 8a to the third power. Okay, so next part, laws of exponents combined. So this will be the combination of the laws of exponents. So example 1, we have here 2ab squared quantity raised to the third power. So 3 will be distributed to 2, to a, and to b. So we have here 2 to the third, a to the third, and b to the sixth power. So simplified form, so that will be 8. So 2 to the third is 2 times 2 times 2. 8a to the third power, b to the sixth power. Okay, next part. So we have division here, division of exponent. So we have 4 divided by 2, so that will be equivalent to 2. Copy x because they are similar. So 2 minus 2, we have 0. So nagkaroon tayo ng 0 exponent. And then copy y, 3 minus 1, so that will be 2. So dahil si x to the 0 power ay equivalent sa 1, so ang mangyayari niyan, that will be 2 times 1 times y to the second, or simply, remove mo na yung x to the 0, and that will be 2y squared. Okay, next part. So, division pa rin. So, 2 divided by 1. Wala naman tayong denominator. Numerical coefficient in our denominator. So, we will just copy 2. Or kaya naman, that is equivalent to 2 divided by 1. X, copy x. Then, 4 minus 2, we have 2. Then, copy y. 3 minus 5, so that is negative 2. So, 3 minus 5 is negative 2. So, in this case, meron tayong negative exponent. So, negative exponent will be brought to its reciprocal. Dadali mo sa kabaliktaran niya in a numerator-denominator format. So, that will be 2x squared. And then, yung y to the negative 2, ililipat lang sa baba. So, that will be y to the positive 2 na. Okay, next part. So we have negative 2 to the x power, negative 2x quantity raised to the negative 2 exponent. So what will happen here? I-reciprocal na natin lahat kasi naka-parenthesis symbol naman siya. So ibig sabihin nun, the whole group is raised to a negative exponent. So i-reciprocal na natin. So that will be negative 2x quantity raised to the second power. Kung wala kang naiwan sa taas, so lagyan mo ng 1. So that will be 1 over negative 2x quantity raised to the second power. Then distributive. So we have 1 over negative 2 to the second power x to the second power. Simplify, so that is 1 over negative 2 to the second, so that is negative 2 times negative 2, so we have 4x to the second power. So the final answer will be 1 over 4x to the second power. Okay, next part. So first here is to distribute the exponent to each element in our parentheses. And then after that, so we will apply the division of similar variable. So distribute muna tayo. So we have a to the 4th, b to the 6th, c to the 2nd, over a to the 9th, b to the 3rd, c to the 3rd. And then, so similar variable, subtract the exponent. So we have a, 4 minus 9, so that is negative 5. And then b, 6 minus 3, so that is 3. And then c, 2 minus 3, okay, and that will be negative 1. And then, obtain the reciprocal of the negative exponent. So, may iwanan lang si p to the 3rd kasi wala naman siyang negative. Ibababa ang a to the 5th at saka ang c to the 1st. Pero hindi mo nalalagay yung first power. So, a to the 5th and then c.